Now, your First Alert Weather Super 7-day forecast.
Let's take a look at the Super 7-day forecast. It's going to be hot and it's going to be humid. Tomorrow's the First Alert Weather Day. First Alert meteorologist Isaac Williams just broke down the timing of those storms, telling you that it's going to be greatest in the afternoon and evening. But we still got time to get hot, getting into the mid-90s with feels-like temperatures once again in triple digits. More heat advisories likely as we head through the day tomorrow. As we push into Wednesday, a little bit more cloud cover around, and we'll see some scattered showers and storms in the afternoon a little bit earlier, and that should stop temperatures from climbing quite so high. Still getting to a seasonal 90 degrees, and we'll see those numbers kind of hang out in that territory as we head through the end of the work week. But Friday is the First Alert Weather Day. We got a cold front that's going to be moving into the area, and that's going to bring the chance for some scattered storms into the forecast as we head through the second half of the day. Widespread rain likely during the afternoon commute, and then we'll see things trend a little bit drier as we push into the evening. But the big payoff is on the back end of that front because it's going to usher in some cooler temperatures. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a wedge situation with some winds coming out of the east. That's going to allow for some cooler afternoon highs both Saturday and into Sunday, and it looks like it's going to stick around into next week as well. Unfortunately, not completely dry. We've got some scattered showers and even some storms around as we head through your Saturday. Looks like a little bit drier conditions are in the forecast for your Sunday, and afternoon highs are going to hang out into the 80s through the beginning of next week.